Yo, what's good? I'm Pxstilent, aka Bringer of the Apocalypse, aka Ed Sheeran, and this is Talk Yo Shit. I came from the West Island. I was born in Saint Laurent, but I moved over to Dollar when I was like hella young. I've grown up and just been raised there, and it's really my home. It's why I consider it to be the most comfortable. It's the only place where I could walk around like at 3 in the morning high and know for a fact I'm not gonna like end up dead somewhere. So I consider it pretty comfortable there. I think my environment shaped me growing up because every single thing that's around you contributes into like your growth as a human being. The shit you go through day to day, like the small insignificant choices that you have, that you make, the opinions that you decide today influence who you'll become tomorrow. And so I feel like the people I've met, the places I've seen, the culture that like both the West Island and just Montreal in general has, like all of it, the people who I've had beef with, the people who I've like been happy with, every single one of those people have influenced me. So I'd say they're part of my environment, part of me. So. Oh my god, so back in the day, I used to play this game called Town of Salem, and it was like that game Mafia where like everyone had to pick roles and then you had to find out who was the bad guy. And there was this one role where it was called Pestilence, and they brought the plague. You had to wait like 3 nights, but if you got everyone infected, you could kill the entire town and win the game. And I was a big fucking nerd. I mean, I still am a big fucking nerd, but like I was in my Town of Salem shit back then. And yeah, I mean, like I was looking for a rap name, and I didn't want to be like one of those regular people who make like a name like MTO Ethan, so I was like, fuck it, Pestilent, that sounds cool, I sound badass. When I first started making music, I was like a 13-year-old who was just like really sad trying to express his feelings through poetry. And I would just write and write and write like day after day, every day, whatever I was feeling, whatever was on my mind, like good or bad. And after a while, as I started to get more into different kinds of music and explore different genres, I was like, shit, like you could actually do things with these words. And so I started making music, and I started just putting words to songs, and it was just words on beats. And then even eventually it was like shitty producing with words on beats. And with my original project, I got to a point where it was actual music, and that in itself was such an advancement for me. But to most recently, it's becoming to melodies, it's becoming to flows, it's becoming to finding new ways to capture new sounds, ways to become inventive, ways to create new layers. It's no longer just how can I make this sound like a song, it's how can I make this song turn into a masterpiece. And I'm still not even there yet, but that's the point of growth, is that soon I'm going to be there, one day I will be there. And like right now it's just, I look back on who I was and I look back now on what I've made, and it's like, damn. Oh my god, every single person I've ever met has called me a stoner. Like, back in grade 9, one of my teachers, we had a stereotypes class, and he was literally like, Ethan, theoretically, if we were doing stereotypes, and this is not to point any fingers towards you, you would be the stoner. Everyone who's met me has always said that, and it's both been like a blessing and a curse, because it's like, it's cool being known as like the calm, chill Shaggy who like everyone will hang out with, but I try to make it more like grunge, and like I try to make it more like a mix between like people who like ball out and trap out and have like these like Dior clothing and just Converse and a flannel, you know, it's like a mix. I think my biggest inspiration when it comes to music is just the fact that I was that kid who used to listen to people, like listen to artists non-stop, because in that moment it was like the comfort I needed to keep me going. And I'm not even sitting here trying to act like, oh, I'm trying to make people like bring them out of their time, but like everyone likes what they like, and if someone likes my music, and if them liking that music is what gets them through that hard time, then that's enough to inspire me to keep making music. And I mean, I make it for myself, because when I make a song, like everything I upload is something I'm happy with. So if I make it and I hear it and I'm like, damn, this is a song I want to listen to, that inspires me to make more, because if I can listen to it, like probably at least one other person in this world is going to want to listen to it. Oh my god, there is so much in the works, it's not even funny. I don't talk about it that much, but I am super fucking organized in no other way but the music. When it comes to my music, I am 12 steps ahead of what I should be. I got a project coming out as of the time of this recording, I have a project coming out next week. It's called 33 Minutes. It's releasing on November 26th at 12 a.m. But from there, I have singles planned all throughout the year. I have EPs, I have projects, I have plans for merchandise, I have plans for tours, I have plans for so much more music, and literally before we even see the summer, you're going to be hearing most of it, and there's only going to be more from there. Okay, so this is actually a funny story. I'm into TikTok, and so the other night it was like 3 in the morning, and I'm scrolling through TikToks, and I find this guy, and his name is Johnny Two Phones, and he does like remixes of songs, and they are all so fire. And so I'm randomly like, you know what? He's verified. He has 100,000 followers, but fuck it, he's gonna get a DM from Pxstilent, and so I shot him a DM saying, yo, we'd collab together. That shit would go crazy. Not expecting anything, but he actually texted me back, and we've been going back and forth. And Johnny, if you're watching this, please no, like, consider it a second time. Please make a song with me. See, that's a hard question, because right now I'm kind of in between favorite artists. Like, I always change. It changes almost weekly. What got me into rap and what got me into making music and what really inspired me the most, like, in terms of musically, and it's weird to say because it's not even what influences my lyrics or my opinions, just like creating music. The person that got me into it was Chance the Rapper, to a point where I have his logo on my arm. Like, I'm not saying I was a stan at one point, but like, I've dropped bands on his merch. Like, it's fucked up. I'd say right now though, the musician I'm fucking with the most, the person I'm probably playing the most. See, I don't want to admit this. I don't want to admit this here. This isn't the way I wanted to admit this. But right now, currently, the person I've been listening to the most is X and Ski. But like members only, like volume 3 type shit, not like question mark X, like the good kind. But yeah, I'd have to go with those two. That I've released, that makes it so much harder. Because all of this, I'm gonna cop out. I'm gonna say off of my most recent release is Mosh Pit. It's not even like a smart bar. It's not even something like super sophisticated or anything. It's literally, it's a mosh pit, pull up with a mob bitch. I don't got no ties already dripping like a faucet. It's just, it's not even like that clever. I just, like, when I hear that bar, it makes me smile, so I'm gonna go with that one. I'm not sure if I can answer what I honestly think. I can't say I love it. It's fucked up because as someone who is bilingual, I do prefer English rap, like no shit. And in the Montreal music scene, I'm gonna keep it 100. Unless it's French rap, it's probably not popping. Like, I can name a bunch of artists on hand that are English that are popping, but like, most of you gotta up the fucking game, dog. You're making us look bad. Don't buy into all the bullshit that you have to like find your niche right away. Like, a lot of artists are just copy and paste of other ones that have grown into their own originality. Like, you're not just gonna one day wake up and be like, oh yeah, like I didn't wake up and go, oh, I'm Pxstilent. Like, I had 5 different names, I had a bunch of different songs. I tried to write music. I tried to write music like certain artists. I tried to write music like myself when I didn't even know what myself was. And so don't feel rushed like you have to become something. Like, you're gonna be some random name dropping type beat songs for a minute before you actually get into like who you are and you actually know what you're doing. So don't try to rush that shit because it comes naturally. In a fucking subway, no cap. Literally, like from as early as grade 9, I wasn't trying to like do school. I don't fuck with it that much. It was just never for me. It wasn't even that I did bad. It's just that I found no inspiration there at all. And I'm not saying it's not for everyone, but it just really wasn't for me. And I've always just, since I was a fucking kid, dreamt of being a rock star. Like, when I was 6, I used to jam out to fucking Kurt Cobain and pretend I was him on Rolling Loud, just screaming out to everybody. I think I messed up Rolling Loud. No, it was, what was it called? Shit, I don't know why I just went on that tangent. My bad. But yeah, I always wanted to be a rock star, even since I was a fucking like young ass kid. So there was never any like, if I wasn't a musician, what would I be doing type shit? Because if I wasn't, I'd probably be working like a dead-end job, wishing I was a musician, no cap. Like, there was never like, most recently, one of my like intermediate jobs just to get like money to fund the music was literally an assistant optometrician. Like, I don't know shit about eyes. Like, I know that I got 2 eyes, but that's about it. Like, but it's just, it's always been the music. If it was the last meal I ever ate, if I had died right now, I think, yeah, it would have been, I ate a burger this morning at like 10 in the morning before I took a shower to come here, because we didn't have any groceries and I was hungry as fuck. But if I had to pick a last meal, it would probably, honestly, a full send would be fucking burgers. That one was a tough one. It's not really a quote, it's kind of just a mindset. And without trying to sound like some fucking like cringy 14-year-old girl who's like, this shit's deep. Like, everything kind of happens for a reason, and I try to believe that, because it's like the minute some shit happens, like, I can't change it no matter what it is, whether it's good or bad. Like, I could make up for it, I can improve myself, I could try to make things better, but you can't change what's happened. So I always try to believe that everything happens for a reason, and that no matter what, like, it's all lining up for something. And I don't even know what that something is, but it's better to believe that something's aligning for, like, for me, but rather than just think like. As someone who doesn't really bump French music, I don't have an opinion. I know that it's more popping on every single social platform than any English music is. If you are making, like I said earlier, if you're making French music in this city, there's a better chance you're doing better than an English rapper. Honestly, it sounds cheesy to say, but it would probably be the day my first project dropped, because like, it was the day I graduated from high school. But I didn't even go to the ceremony. I saw my brother and I visited him and his wife, so I met my nephew and niece for the first time, which was fucking crazy, and it was even cooler because my girl was there with me, so we both got to share that moment together. And it was just really cool because even though my album had dropped and people were like texting me nonstop like, yo man, like congrats, you're gonna be famous now, like the only thing I could think was like, shit, I got to meet my nephew and niece, so that was cool. Actually, I know, yeah. So right now, my go-to song to like just pick up my mood whenever I need that is Worst Day by DC The Don. That shit goes so hard, like it just has, it must have like some kind of note in it that just makes my brain happy. Like dopamine rushes to my fucking head when I hear that song. Like I'll be on the bus at 8 in the morning and I'll be turning up if that song starts playing for sure. I'd probably take some shit like Kanye West and throw him with, who would I throw him with? Honestly, it's a weird collab, but hear me out. Hear me out. I'm thinking Kanye West and Ski Mask Slump God, they would make a beautiful baby, because even though Kanye, like on his lyrical shit, like him and Ski are in different worlds, his producing is funky as fuck, and Ski is just known for having these like oddball beats, just something really fucking hard to rap to. And I think if anyone could do that, Kanye could cook that up, and Ski could just drop the fucking craziest verse on it. So many actually. With my first project I only came out with one music video, and for the EP I dropped in September, like I almost gave it no love to the point where I feel like it's an abandoned kit. I kind of feel bad about it. But for this project I was like, shit, we have to go all out for it. And so I mean automatically, like we're working on music videos, we're working on fucking photo shoots, we're working on just a bunch of promotional videos and pictures to drop, so you guys can stay just as entertained with it as you would be listening to the music. Don't text everybody, yo, listen to my SoundCloud, here's the link, because half the time people won't do it from experience. If you're going to do that, at least try to appeal to the person you're talking to. Remember that at the end of the day, the person you are promoting to is a person, and that if you think of them as nothing more than a stream, they'll think of you as nothing more than a pretentious douchebag trying to get a listen. And that's what it was the hardest to learn, because it's like every single person, even if it's someone who doesn't fuck with your music, is someone who has an opinion, a voice, and like they have an interpretation of what you're creating. And so it's like when you're promoting it, you can't just be like, here's a song, listen to it. You have to like actually like talk to the person and let them know that you care about their listen just as much as they care about you as an artist. Everyone can find me on every fucking platform. Can I redo that one actually? Okay, yeah. You can find me on literally any platform. I'm on everything from Spotify to the newest like Tidal Hi-Fi Plus thing. I opted into it with DistroKid literally the day before recording this. And it's Pxstilent on everything. Pxstilent. Didn't forget how to spell my own name. I think it's really vital because at the end of the day, every single person has different listening tastes, and whether yours is the highest quality listening experience on the most expensive premium plan, or you're just listening to like bare free sounds on SoundCloud, like I think it's important that everyone gets an equal chance to hear your music, because if you really want people to discover you, you have to be out there, and if you're on one platform, you're grounded to that one. It's like an exclusive when it's a video game. Like if it releases on one console, all the other consoles aren't going to be playing it. If I only drop a song on SoundCloud, everyone who fucks with Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, like literally any other platform but SoundCloud, they're not going to fuck with my music. So it's important to appeal to every single person and not just one specific. I wish I could give an honest answer for why I did it. It wasn't even for like saving money or some shit. I just went with DistroKid because it felt like the most like obvious choice. I was told to go with a bunch of other things by friends and by other musicians, but like I didn't do much research at the time, and I was just like, I'll go with DistroKid. I feel like once eventually, if things do start picking up and like it does come to that, there's no chance I'll be like, I'm not gonna be having 2 million streams and being under DistroKid, but for now it's done a fucking nice job. Holy fuck, I cannot give more love to Ace. He might be the most beautiful engineer in the world. I love that man with all of my heart. That came off a little too much. I give way too much love to Ace, but okay, wait, hold up. I want to re-say that. Because I want to think of a way to actually... Okay. I gotta give mad fucking props to Ace, because out of all of the engineers I've talked to, out of all of the people that I've met and like had the discussion of making music with, it's never been smoother and more involved than with Ace. Like, he has done all of my music justice. Like, I could send him something at 2 in the morning and be like, yo, right here in this song, like, it's cool, but like something's missing. And at 2:33 he'll be like, bro, I spent the last 33 minutes tweaking this shit, peep it. Like, it's nothing but respect to the engineers, especially in our city, because they work really hard. If anything, it's more of the artists I've noticed that slack. Like, even the producers go hard. Like, I know so many producers on hand who, they mix clients, they make their own beats, they put in so much work, and it's just nothing but respect for those people. I think something I'd want to avoid in the music industry more than anything is just falling to being like the same shit. I try really hard. Like, my first project, it had a lot of like sad trap vibes to it, but even then I was trying to do that in my own way. I was trying to be my own person with that, and I feel like I never just want to be like a copy and paste mold of another artist. Of course, that's where we all start from, but it's like you get to a point where you have to find your own self, and when you get to that point, going back to being someone else or seeing a trend and being like, alright, I'm gonna just copy that because that works, that's never what I want to do. Like, I'd rather be like chilling by myself, making some shit that no one fucks with, that I really fuck with, than just be like, alright, well, like, this is trending, so I'm gonna just do that because that's what's gonna get it popping. I think it's all about finding a fine mix of everything, because if you try to be really lyrical, there's always going to be that group of people who really love melodies who just aren't going to give a fuck about what you're saying, and if it's not said the way they want to hear it in that melodic way, it's not it. Just as much as there are going to be those people who, if they don't just hear straight bars, like if every single bar isn't an Instagram quote, your song isn't worth listening to. So it's all about finding that good mix, and I'm not saying always include melodies, because even myself, that's something I've tried to do, because even though I can always be on my singy shit, like, it's important to have a good mix enough to where someone can be vibing to your singing, but then you drop some fucking bars where they think back on it after and they're like, damn, he fucking snapped. It might sound stupid to say, but as a person, the one thing I always want to be remembered for is that, like, I cared, and not even just about like the music or myself, but like the people around me. Like, yeah, I like, it's impossible to care for every single thing in this entire universe because there are way too many things and you get caught up in way too many things. But I don't want to be remembered that when you think of it, it wasn't like I was someone who just didn't give a fuck. I was someone who, like, when I had something, when I wanted something, it wasn't like, oh, I'll try. It was, no, it's this or it's not happening. Like, I have to get to that place. And so I want to be remembered that I always did, like, give my all and care for what I did do. And musically, I'd say what I want to be remembered for. I'd say musically I want to be remembered for the fact that I never did try to, like, appeal to a specific genre. Like, I'll be doing fucking trap rap in my 60s. I don't give a fuck. If that's how I'm feeling, that's how I'm feeling. My inspiration for Mood Swings was I just wanted to kind of get a collection of how I've been thinking, like a collection of thoughts, a collection of ideas, the goods and bads of life, because it really is, like, I think, like, a poster stamp for just life in general, because Mood Swings represents, like, ups and downs. It represents the goods and bads, and that's really what everyone is doing in life. Like, no matter what, you could be the happiest person in the world, and you have your good days and you have your bad days. You have those times where you think, like, everything is working out in my favor, just as much as you have those times where you think, like, there must be something specifically making, like, life hard for me. Like, everyone has both of those moments. And so I think Mood Swings was supposed to represent that throughout it all. Like, you're gonna get back to it. Like, you can be shitty, but you're gonna go back up just as much as you're gonna come crashing back down to go back up again. The minute I get to the studio, before Ace and I even load up a song, I tell him I have to go smoke. There's no way we are getting shit done if I am a sober motherfucker. No chance. Afterwards, what we usually do is we'll load up the song, I'll hop in the booth, we'll figure out the keys, we'll talk about the song a bit. Like, I don't really tell Ace the song before. He kind of hears it as we're going along, and then he's just like, shit, okay. But the process is just trying to be as laid back but as careful as possible. Like, everything I do, I try to make it that it's, like, really obviously that I try and that I put effort, and that, like, there's a million thoughts behind it, but all of those thoughts resulted in me coming off as, like, yeah, I just did that shit, what about it? Shout out my dog Chip. He's my fucking best friend. Like, literally, for years I just told that motherfucker everything. Shout out my girl. Shout out my parents. Shout out the fucking city, I guess. Shout out all the people in it. Shout out fucking Valerie LaPointe putting in new bike paths and shit. I don't know. Shout out whoever wants a shout out. You can get a shout out.